Anyway, welcome to the podcast, y'all.
Are you doing the intro?
I mean, it's my podcast too, you know, Paul. No, you do the intro.
No. You can do it.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about the history and welcome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let me do it. Okay.
I'm such an eloquent human being. This is the one where he educates poor, uneducated Americans and sometimes sometimes Europeans.
Yeah, I'm not very educated.
Oh yeah, you only have a title. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one title.
Who doesn't have a title in Austria? Okay,
me because they got rid of it. They had the title and then they were like, we don't need that title anymore.
Yeah.
Are we starting the podcast now, or are we?
Soon? Yeah.
Oh, I thought we already started. That's
No. I mean, I pressed record and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are people who don't have titles. We call them assholes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Assholes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to fucking go to school and learn stuff. All right. This feels like you were at a job interview right now. Like I'm like an old-timey boss, like sitting here smoking a cigarette.
This is your assistant
This
director.
is my assistant who's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you think your greatest weakness is?
Not as
In
crippled
your
as
wife. In your wife. He's falsing your
going
hire.
balls deep into your wife. That's what I've been.
Listen up, sweet chicks. This is how it works in this town. If you don't like it, you're gonna have to suck my dick.
Sugar tits.
Sorry, I'm diabetic.
Diabetic titties.
But I like tits.
Diabetic titties. You got to whiff my friends.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
No, diabetes.
Diabetes. Tickle diabetes.
One of them fell off.
They cut off one of them.
Yeah. It's like smoker's leg, but for your titties.
Tits.
Sugar mastectomy.
The sweetest operation out there.
Hi guys, welcome to the podcast. This is where we...
Welcome to the Centrist, episode 6, and we have a special guest with us. It is
David Stockenreitner.
Hey, my man, thank you so much for coming.
Hello,
Yes.
thank you for having me.
You have no idea what's going to happen, which is
No.
great.
We never have
Yes.
any idea what's going to happen, Paul. That's
That
how
is
it
the
works.
idea. That is the idea, exactly.
Well, that's...
But sometimes we like to torture the Europeans with history knowledge as well as the Americans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How much do you know about the Roman Republic / Roman Empire?
Well, y'all learn a lot about this in school, right?
Julius Caesar.
Oh, that's already okay.
He's a person.
From Asterix and Obelix, right?
Mark Aurel.
Yeah. Oral. Mark Oral.
Slavery.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Proto-slavery.
Well, I mean, they had, like, slaves.
Yeah, but not like we know it today.
Yeah.
They're still slaves.
But you got to
No, like real slaves.
Sometimes you could work yourself out of slavery in the Roman Empire.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, and like 15...
Also, a lot of them got salaries,
15-year-olds.
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
We're like 15. When you were like 15, you were like considered a man or something.
Yeah, basically.
Something crazy like that.
And you were in charge of the household at that point if your dad is already dead, which normally was the case.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like 15's like middle age.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on. You gotta recreate at this point.
Give you 2 more years. Plow the field.
No, I love imagining being...
Figuratively and metaphorically.
I love imagining being that kid's mom and suddenly like your husband dies, so now this 15-year-old little asshole's the head of the household.
Yep.
That's so fucked up.
Yep.
Your own son has to lord over you.
Yes.
And society just accepts that.
Salve, Marcus.
All right, Landlord.
Certainly am. Just got some new tenants fresh off the boat.
So today, we are gonna cover Marcus Licinius Crassus.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, is it
heard
ringing?
that.
Yeah, you heard that name before?
It's ringing a bell,
I mean,
but
the
not
problem-
a very loud one. So who is
problem
he again?
okay, so the problem, first of all, is there's like 6 Crassuses that are
not
famous.
okay.
only
So-
there's 6 crosses, there's probably 6-7 Marcos from the Roman Empire.
Marcus. But
Marcus.
yes. Yeah,
Still, that's the same name. Like, it's the same.
All right. So researcher Ben has done.
Shout out to Ben.
A bang up job. He wrote 12 pages.
A bang up job.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good at his job.
He is amazing.
I can't believe you're sleeping on this pun, Paul. Ben up job.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
I should have bent over backwards to get that one.
You should have.
Yeah.
How dare you? But we're bending over backwards now. Okay, yeah. So.
All right. Ben Hor me.
Marky Mark.
All right. Marcus Licinius Crassus was born around 115 BCE in Rome, the second of three sons of Publius Licinius Crassus, who himself served the Republic as consul in 97 BCE, during which time the Senate outlawed magic and human sacrifice.
Ooh.
Progressive.
Magic and human. Wow. Wow. They are progressive.
I just want to talk about this guy's name is Pube.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pubes are in charge right now.
The pubes are in charge.
Yeah. And he was also censor in 89 BC, so he got like an upgrade.
He got an upgrade.
Yeah. So his dad, you know?
Okay.
All right. Despite coming from an old and well-respected plebeian family, the gens Licinia, Marcus grew up in relatively modest conditions. Quote, his brothers were married while their parents were still alive, and all shared the same table, which seems to have been the chief reason why Crassus was temperate and moderate in his manner of life. When one of his brothers died, Crassus took the widow, Tertulla, to wife, and had his children by her, and in these relations also he lived as well-ordered a life as any Roman.
He was so well ordered, he's gonna fuck your wife after you've been gone.
Let me tap that real quick.
Sorry, I'm doing you a favor, bro.
You're dead. So
homies fuck each other's homies' wives.
Yeah, exactly.
She can't be unmarried.
Yeah, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
I'm a mother lover, you mother lover. They just did a lonely island.
Oh my god.
When I'm on a lonely island with my brother's wife.
You should start you should create an R&B album right now.
Yeah. The quote, by the way, all quotes basically are by Plutarch. The Parallel Lives is the book that he written in 75 CE. So there is a bit of a gap between what happened and when it was written down. So not everything might be super truthful either.
You think someone would do that? Go into a book and tell lies?
Who would lie?
Yeah.
In history?
Plutarch especially. He didn't have any alternative motives at all.
Not Plutarch.
Yeah. Not him.
Not him.
I bet he didn't even fuck that guy's wife.
You mean his brother's wife?
Yeah, I bet he didn't fuck that guy's wife.
What comes next? Karl May?
Oh,
we already did Karl May.
Oh.
We're actually doing another part 2 to we're going to do several parts.
Oh, we will revisit Karl May, yeah.
He's an excellent...
Yeah.
Speaking of guys who fuck other people's wives.
All right. One of his brothers died before the Social War of 91 to 87 BCE, which saw the non-Roman Italians gain citizenship, while his father and other brother, along with many others who had supported Lucius Cornelius Sulla's march on Rome in 88 BCE, were killed in the aftermath of the Bellum Octavianum, one of the Gazillion civil wars Rome suffered at the time.
Does it say Gazillion in there?
No, that's Ben.
Oh, okay.
That's Ben.
I was like, this is a published academic article?
Gazillion. I'm a genius. High five me.
The board is going to love this.
Like a little footnote, not necessarily that many.
Yeah. I might be slightly exaggerating.
Citation needed.
Speaking of which, quote, when Lucius Cornelius and Gaius Marius got the upper hand, it was at once apparent that they would re-enter the city, not for the good of their country, but for the downright destruction and ruin of the nobles. Those who were caught were slain, and among them were the father and brother of Crassus. Crassus himself, being very young, escaped the immediate peril, but perceiving that he was surrounded on all sides by the huntsmen of the tyrants, he took with him 3 friends and 10 servants, and fled with exceeding speed into Spain, where he had been before, while his father was praetor there, and he had made friends.
Oh.
Yeah, so but also he's like,
it's like, oh, my whole family's dead, but at least I made friends along the way.
Okay, let's go to Spain. I know some
real
guys there.
family are the ones that not get murdered along the way. That's my real family.
Let's exceedingly fast go to Spain.
Let's go to Spain. I know
Spain
some guys.
speed run.
Literal speed.
That's what I'm saying.
Just walk fast, guys.
We got it.
They didn't run. They just walked very fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they didn't have enough energy to run.
I mean, I do love that he's like, okay, I'm taking 3 of my friends, but I need 10 servants.
I need my slaves.
Yeah, exactly. Who is a man without his slaves?
Yeah.
By the way, Crassus is behind you, so if you want to know what the man looks like, that's probably the...
Bro, every Roman Empire looks like that. Are you kidding me?
True.
Like,
True.
that could be anyone. That could be literally anyone.
Fair enough. Selfies weren't that good back then.
Not only were selfies not that good, but they also had the exact same building material. They never painted any colors, like no identifying features.
I'm not sure. I think some of those busts were painted originally, but the paint
that's true.
got rid of in the meantime.
Because they don't like having color in their museum. Yeah. The British
Quite.
Museum doesn't like having color in
It's
it.
all stone. But that's nice for disabled people. I always can sit down somewhere.
On the Roman statues.
Yeah, it's like the other day when I was at the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, it's like antique times and pre-antique even, and everything was rocks and stone, and I was like, so many sitting opportunities.
But did they let you sit on any of them?
I did sit on one of those things.
So you sat on a 3,000-year-old stone?
Yeah, probably
Did you take-
3,500 years old.
Did you do a fart real quick?
Rip ass on a 3,000-year-old
Hey,
stone?
if you gotta let off some steam,
I
do
bet
it that
this
way.
is the same stone that what's his name ripped ass on 3,000 years ago.
I farted on 3,000 years of history.
This is Platon's. This is Platon's stone, and I'm taking a shit on it. What is a shit? You know?
What is a shit? What do you mean by shit?
Yeah.
Oh, that is shit.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that. Ooh, yeah.
Back to Ben. Allegedly, Crassus spent 8 months hiding in an unrealistically pleasant sounding cave by the shore.
An unrealistically sounding, pleasant sounding.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it called?
Wait. It's just a cave.
Oh, what? I thought it was pleasant sounding.
No. Like it. Just let me finish. On property belonging to one of the aforementioned friends, Vibius, Vibe. His name is literally Vibes.
Vibes.
His friend is just Vibes.
Yeah, everybody needs a friend like that.
Yeah, but they never get checked.
Vibius Pacchiacus.
Oh, he's vibing and packing?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's my homie.
Yeah, we need Vibius with us. Yeah.
Who provided him and his small retinue with good food and good pussy. Quote.
Wait, is that actually what it said?
That's what Ben wrote.
No.
But now we go.
God damn it.
Now we get to the quote. The cave is not far away from the sea, and the cliffs which enclose it leave a small and indistinct path leading inside. But when one has entered, it opens out to a wonderful height, and at the sides has recesses of great circumference opening into one another. There is no lack of water or of light, but a spring of purest flow issues from the base of the cliff, and natural fissures in the rock where its edges join admit the light from outside, so that in the daytime the place is bright. The air inside is dry and pure, owing to the thickness of the rock, which deflects all moisture and dripping water into the spring.
What are we doing here? Let's go to that cave.
Yeah, that is
I want to talk about the fissures in that stone. Are you sure they didn't just fart on it?
No, you should get a doctor to check out those fissures for sure. Yeah.
We got Dr. Vibes. Or he's not a doctor. They gave him a doctorate because he's just
sounds
so
like
cool.
a drug dealer, Dr. Vibes.
Yeah, that sounds like a Rolling Stone
I'm
song.
starting an online business, everyone.
Dr. Vibe.
Dr. Vibes.
One of the ancestors of Mr. Nice Guy.
But he's actually a nice guy, though.
Yeah. All right, continuing with the quote. Now, the meals were abundant and so prepared as to gratify the taste and not merely satisfy hunger. For Vibius had made up his mind to pay Crassus every sort of friendly attention, and it even occurred to him to consider the youth of his guest, that he was quite a young man, and that some provision must be made for the enjoyments appropriate to his age.
How old is he?
I
don't think they said.
You have a wonderful voice.
Thank you.
Let's harmonize.
It just says being very young. So
okay, so we don't know if this is like a child or just like a.
So it must be
Probably
after the.
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
it's probably middle age.
somewhere in there.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So he took with him 2 calmly female slaves and went down to calmly. Yeah, calmly.
Wait. He took the slaves calmly, or are the slaves themselves?
They are calmly.
They're
So they don't tell anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens in the cave stays in the cave.
Yeah, exactly. They ain't snitching.
None of these people are calm. They're just psychologically broken women that they have taken with them.
They're sex slaves, obviously.
Yeah.
Love that for.
Yeah.
They still
Welcome to Rome, motherfucker.
They still can talk, but they don't want anymore.
Yeah.
If they open their mouth, something's going in. It's really not.
They might
good.
not even speak the language. They might be, like from somewhere else. They might be Spaniards,
they might
Iberians.
be from.
They might be Iberians.
They might be from the country that you've just escaped to. You might.
Yeah.
From Spain.
Yeah. Okay. So, so he took with him 2 comely female slaves and went down towards the sea. When he came to the place of the cave, he showed them the path up to it and bade them to go inside and fear nothing. When Crassus...
Hey, do you want to go to my cave?
Hey, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Look, I'm into anal, but this is a different type of cave.
Talk about fissures.
I love some cave play. Go spelunking up in that ass.
You don't have to go in all the way right away. You just can put a finger in.
You gotta ease your way into it.
Yeah.
When Crassus saw them approaching, he was afraid that the place had been discovered and was now known. He asked them, accordingly, who they were and what they wanted. They answered, as instructed, that they were in search of a master who was hidden there. Then Crassus understood the kindly joke which Vibius was playing upon him, and received the girls. And they lived with him the rest of the time, carrying the necessary messages to Vibius. Fenestella, a Roman historian in Augustus' time, says that he saw one of these slaves himself when she was now an old woman, and often heard her mention this episode and rehearse its details with zest. So either he's really good at banging, and they're like, the sex slaves are impressed.
They're like, we don't get good dicking often.
Especially in cave.
Yeah,
like cave dicking normally is the worst.
If I wasn't so old, I would do it again. It was great dick.
But wait.
Does she do? Sorry, but does she do like a Greek like the shadows on the cave wall kind of like story?
She's like a Scheherazade.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, wait. So these women just sort of like rolled up to the cave. We're like, hey, yo, we're looking for some work.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't fuck you.
The pimp was like, go there.
Wait, who is the pimp?
Vibius.
Okay, so Vibius, he's literally drug dealer. He's a sketchy guy.
Pachyacus.
Dr. Vibes.
Dr. Vibes.
All right. Crassus left Hispania in 84 BCE, having raised an army and plundered the city of Malacca, which he later angrily denied, though multiple sources testify to it. Wasn't me, bro. Stab.
What's even funnier to me is that Malacca is the Greek word for like shit.
So he raided
like,
some shit?
Yeah. Well, fuck and shit. It's the same word.
Okay.
It wasn't me, dude. You're stabbing people as we speak.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, the historian writes it down while he's stabbing him. What about a first-hand report?
Oh my God.
This is a prime source.
I'm the most primary source. All right.
After a short stay in Africa, he joined forces with Sulla in the latest civil war, 83 to 81 BCE, crossing with him from Greece into Italy and playing a vital part in winning the war. So he was like going around the Mediterranean, just bouncing from one place to the other.
Yeah.
Despite this, he was hardly celebrated as a hero, as he missed no opportunity to use the events to enrich himself.
Okay.
Quote.
Okay.
For instance, when he captured the Umbrian city of Tudor, it was believed that he appropriated to himself most of the spoil, and charges to this effect were laid before Sulla. But in the struggle near Rome, which was the last and greatest of all, while Sulla was defeated and his army repulsed and shattered, Crassus was victorious with the right wing, pursued the enemy till nightfall, and then sent to Sulla informing him of his success, and asking supper for his soldiers. However, during this proscriptions and public confiscations which ensued, he got a bad name again by purchasing great estates at a low price and asking donations. Shakedown.
He's just a scammer. This is just another scammer.
No, he's probably the first.
No.
He's the first to do
I mean,
this.
on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
This is just historical scammers, the podcast.
It is said that in Brutium, he actually proscribed a man without Sulla's order, merely to get his property, and that for this reason Sulla, who disapproved of his conduct, never employed him again in public business. When a guy who starts a civil war doesn't trust you anymore, you know you truly fucked up.
He's not welcome anywhere in Roman Europe.
I might be a murderer, but you're a thief.
Yeah.
And that's just way more inconvenient for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather you murder people.
Like, that's Ben again, like really enrich himself. Quote, the Romans, it is true, say that the many virtues of Crassus were obscured by his sole vice of avarice. And it is likely that the one vice which became stronger than all the others in him weakened the rest. The chief proofs of his avarice are found in the way he got his property and in the amount of it. For at the outset, he was possessed of not more than 300 talents. Should be about 7.5 million euros in today money, according to my... Oh, that's Ben again. According to my probably wrong calculations. one talent being about $20,000 in 2004 money, according to my sources.
There's like some Bitcoin bros right now just absolutely fuming about the conversion rate right there for this ancient...
Yeah. Yeah, you're a hack. You know the talent.
You don't know nothing about... You'll never work in this town. No.
Okay, then during his consulship, 70 BC, he sacrificed the 10th of his goods to Hercules, feasted the people, gave every Roman out of his own means enough to live on for 3 months. And still, when he made a private inventory of his property before his Parthian expedition, he found that it had a value of 7,100 talents, which is about 179 million euros. The greatest part of this, if one must tell the scandalous truth, he got together out of fire and war, making the public calamities his greatest source of revenue.
Wow.
So he's literally being paid to fuck shit up.
Yeah. He's a war profiteer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He works for Blackwater.
No, he is Blackwater.
He's a one-man Blackwater.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Black droplet, but still crazy.
What's Blackwater?
Black droplet. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Paul.
Blackwater was the company that they used in the Iraq War. In the last one, to just do private security.
So they're basically mercenaries.
Okay.
They're just bought and paid for by the U.S. government.
Oh.
People who got kicked out of the army were regularly employed.
And
the army's already bad.
Yeah.
But they're like, no. We want the real motherfuckers.
We want to do some like actually evil shit to these people.
Yeah. If I want to use white phosphorus on the populace, you know, I can't do it as the army. But these private guys over there.
Yeah. We'll just let them step in.
Yeah.
But so Marcus is Blackwater. Marcus is the black droplet.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's actually
Crassus water.
Crisis water. Actually, that sounds like an amazing name. Like if he were to set up like an LLC or something, or Roman equivalent, that would be an excellent name for that.
Absolutely.
Crisis water.
All right.
Business ideas 3,000 years too late. Okay.
Quote continues. For when Sulla took the city and sold the property of those whom he had put to death, considering it and calling it spoil of war, and wishing to defile with his crime as many and as influential men as he could, Crassus was never tired of accepting or of buying it. And besides this, observing how natural and familiar at Rome were such fatalities as the conflagration and collapse of buildings, owing to their being too massive and close together, he proceeded to buy slaves who were architects and builders. Then, when he had over 500 of these, he would buy houses that were afire, and houses which adjoined those that were afire. And these their owners would let go at a trifling price, owing to their fear and uncertainty. In this way, the largest part of Rome came into his possession.
Wow.
Perfect shakedown.
Wow.
They're guaranteed to sell me their house if it's on fire.
In 5 minutes, it won't be worth anything.
Wait, is he the one setting the houses on fire?
Might as well.
Yeah.
But honestly, no, Rome regularly burned down at that point because, again, there was not a professional firefighting force yet. But Crassus will change that.
Yeah. Had they got the aqueduct system figured out, but they didn't have a firefighting system.
It's for drinking.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not you pooping yourself to death. That's what the water is for. What do you mean wasted on fire?
Well, we're already
Kiss on the flames.
Might be worth more then. Oh my god, no.
Hey, is your house
That
burning?
is...
What?
That is next level evil.
No, that's like Ayn Rand evil. Like that's opportunism at its peak. That's literally the example of like, look, you have exchanged all of your earthly possessions in exchange for you saving me from a deadly situation.
Yeah.
Did a transaction just happen? Sure, but did you also exploit someone who is in need of your help? Absolutely.
He was just knocking at the door like, hi, I was just around in the neighborhood and I couldn't help but notice
with a torch in his hand.
Your house is on
I'm
fire.
sorry, your house is burning down.
Butterfingers. He has a bucket of Greek fire. He's like, oh no.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so clumsy.
Yeah.
But I'm also rich.
I'm worth
But you're
79 million euros at this
That's
point.
almost Joe Rogan money.
almost.
That is so funny.
Is that actually?
Yeah, he got 200 million, I think, for the Spotify deal.
Yeah.
Reportedly.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have to burn down any buildings.
And now he's in Texas. Things just burned down by themselves.
No. Now he's just culturally burning down institutions.
Yeah.
It's more of a metaphor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm doing a riff on Crassus, you know, like
Crassus, crisis.
this is a remix of the best of Crassus.
This is now that's what I call war crimes.
Yeah. Man, okay, all right. This is an evil piece of shit. All right. Ben continues. What this quote leaves out is the fact that Crassus actually built Rome's first fire brigade. Fires were a daily occurrence at the time, and Crassus had his brigade rush to each one, with the caveat that if the owner did not agree to sell the house for a ridiculously low price, they just watch it burn. The houses so acquired, Crassus often rented out to the original owners.
This is inside job. This is an inside job.
He also had some nifty business advice to give when it came to buildings.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Quote, but though he owned so many artisans, he built no house for himself other than the one in which he lived. Indeed, he used to say that men who were fond of building were their own undoers and needed no other foes.
I mean, you've heard the phrase "people in glass houses," right? I think he knows what will happen if he builds his own house. He will literally die instantly.
They're gonna nail him up in there.
If not, karma will kill him.
If there's anything in the world that should punish him right now.
Why don't you want to build your own house? I fucked up so much. you cannot imagine. It's like even for me sometimes it's too much. Like,
Where does he hide his millions of euros, though?
Wait a second. Are those dicks?
Oh yeah, they are.
Sticks.
I like that we just now noticed this.
Yeah,
Dildo King.
I noticed it the whole time.
Dildo King.
Turn it
Dildo
around.
King,
There we go.
okay.
There we go. This is for you.
Küsschen aufs
Küsschen.
Küsschen aufs Nüsschen.
Yeah.
That's kiss.
Little kiss.
Listen,
Yeah.
for your nutsack.
Yeah.
Butterfly kiss your nutsack.
Yeah, butterfly kisses for your nutsack. No, it's offering. Like, wait, is it offering or is
It's
it like
both.
exclamation?
Yeah.
Both.
Okay,
Whatever you
anyway,
want.
this is a detour. We need to go back
It's
to the.
offering it first.
Yeah.
But if you say no, you get it anyway.
It's very Roman Empire. Of it.
Yeah.
This is Crassus's company. This is actually this is his seal. A bag of dicks.
The 3 dicks. The unholy trinity.
Yeah.
just a bag of
let me kiss your nuts or I'll burn them down.
But you have to pay me an extortionate amount of money first.
Man, I got a UTI. My crotch is on fire.
We don't even know what those are yet. I'm that much of an innovator, just like how I invented the concept of firefighters.
Just to shake people down.
People down.
It's literally this is mafia.
Literally.
This is how mafia works.
This is literally the Roman mafia.
Nice house would be a shame.
Yeah, really. He's like,
Let me see. Nice.
I'm gonna
nice
make you an
interior.
offer. You can't refuse.
all right. He was also involved in a wee scandal around this time.
Oh, a wee scandal.
Yeah, that's Ben.
A little teensy wee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quote.
No, I'm in comparison to the other scandals.
Quote. He was accused of criminal intimacy with Licinia, one of the Vestal virgins, and Licinia was formerly prosecuted by a certain Plotius. Now, Licinia was the owner of a pleasant villa in the suburbs which Crassus wished to get at a low price. And it was for this reason that he was forever hovering about the woman and paying his court to her until he fell under the abominable suspicion. And in a way, it was his avarice that absolved him from the charge of corrupting the Vestal. And he was acquitted by the judges. But he did not let Licinia go until he had acquired her property. He's Scrooge McDuck! Screw McDuck!
It's literally Screw McDuck.
What the fuck? Oh my god!
Can you be a bigger asshole? Like,
Banging a Vestal virgin! Like,
wait, what is a Vestal virgin?
Vestal.
Vestal,
They're
what is that?
like they stay virgins because they have with Vesta, the goddess of households, I think.
or
Something
okay,
like that. They're like, you know.
Yeah, Hestia in Greek mythology.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they have to stay pure. And he's like, nah, let me defile this bitch because she has a nice house.
Not only is
that guy really likes property.
He bangs chicks just to get at the property.
he's more horny for the house than he is for her.
Oh, 3 master bedrooms.
Bathroom. I love you so much.
Another bathroom. Oh.
Criminal intimacy. This is truly criminal.
Every sentence, I'm like, he can't be more of a shithead. This is amazing. This man is awesome.
Did they let women own property back then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the Roman Empire. How progressive of them.
I mean, it was rare.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, that's why I was wondering, like, is this when you said she was a virgin, I was thinking, oh, that's surprising. I thought this might
I'm guessing Vestal virgin get like a special deal. Because,
Okay.
again, they can't marry.
Yeah, that's what I was going
Yeah.
to say. I was going to say, like, this is probably a brothel then, but no, it's
No.
even the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's an anti-brothel.
And then He chose to go for the one place.
It's just consolation. Like, you'll never have sex, but here's your house.
Yeah.
But now,
But
not
at least
anymore.
at least you can do it in a nice house. Oh, wait a second.
It's a good thing he didn't have to set it on fire. though. That would have been a shame. Make that sex real hot. Oh God.
That would be a perfect version of The
I need to
Office.
finish
The
before it
Roman
burns
office,
down.
and he's in charge of it.
Yeah.
It just burns down at somebody's desk.
He leaves like a bag of dog poop, flaming dog poop on his desk.
Oh, that's
Then he rapes some sex slaves
my
in the
God.
office.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, his man cave.
Okay, now it's not offensive. It's okay.
All right, Ben. Apparently, being greedy as fuck can get you out of accusations of being a fuckboy. Still, dude wasn't all bad. Quote, as for his literary pursuits, he cultivated chiefly the art of speaking, which was of general service, and after making himself one of the most powerful speakers at Rome, his care and application enabled him to surpass those who were most gifted by nature. For there was no case, they say, however trifling and even contemporary it might be, which he undertook without preparation. But often, when Pompey and Caesar and Cicero were unwilling to plead, he would perform all the duties of an advocate, and on this account he became more popular than they, being esteemed a careful man and one who was ready with his help. He pleased people also by the kindly and unaffected manner with which he clasped their hands and addressed them. For he never met a Roman so obscure and lowly that he did not return his greeting and call him by a name. It is said also that he was well versed in history and was something of a philosopher withal, attaching himself to the doctrines of Aristotle, in which he had perhaps Alexander Cornelius Polyhistor as a teacher.
So he's literally a used car salesman.
Yeah.
A court used car salesman.
This bad boy can fit so many sex slaves.
BRB, let me set it on fire first.
He burned my house down and he raped virgins, but he's a silver-tongued devil.
Literally the silver tongue.
You sly dog.
Yeah.
Silver
I
tongue.
can't stay mad at him.
Yeah.
Silver tongue, massive asshole.
He touched my hand once. That was awesome.
Nicely.
He nicely
He was
touched.
like basically the Roman Jörg Haider. Like he's an asshole.
Absolutely.
But he shook everybody's hand.
Yeah,
Like,
he was a populist, yeah.
Who is this guy for our non...
Jörg Haider was like the OG Hatzestrache.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like super right-wing, but super popular, especially
Yeah.
in his home country.
Strache was not popular.
Oh, yes, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm for the FPÖ people, I guess. But
Yeah, 25% of Austria.
okay, for the rest of Austria, he's a fucking Nazi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no. Jörg
he's
Haider was even more popular. And
Yeah.
again, he had a kind face.
Yeah.
He was, again, during the 2002 crisis, he just gave out, I think, 150 or 200 euros or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Yeah, she would just give out cash by hand, basically, to the people.
This guy is already better than
Crassus.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I hate to
Fair
admit
enough.
it, but at least he didn't burn anything down. But
And he was gay.
that we know about.
He stole property, though. He did.
Yeah, that is true, too.
Still exploited the working class,
Yeah,
but he
Yeah.
gave people money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's more generous than this guy's doing.
Oh, there we
gotten-
go. There we go. Quote. However, Crassus was generous with strangers,
Okay.
for his house was open to all, and he used to lend money to his friends without interest, but he would demand it back from the borrower relentlessly when the time had expired. And so the
Or I'll burn your house down.
gratuity of the loan was more burdensome than heavy interest. When he entertained at table, his invited guests were for the most part plebeians and men of the people, and the simplicity of the repast was combined with the neatness and good cheer, which gave more pleasure than lavish expenditure.
I would hate to owe money to this man, not because
Yeah.
I'm afraid of what he would do, but just because he would not shut the fuck up.
Where's my money, man? Where's my fucking money?
No, here's the thing. I don't even think he would be like that. I feel like he'd be passive aggressive about it the
Yeah.
whole time
Oh, yeah.
until eventually exploding
There is
in a
a-
fit of violence. He'd just be like, "Oh, it's fine."
He would read you poems that he wrote himself, which are all about you owing him money.
Yeah, and you bought a new vase, and he
Yeah.
says a weird comment about.
that must have been expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
I see you bought a new pair of Doc Martens on.
Oh, grape juice.
Thank you.
Again, we are sober, but for the Roman occasion, I was thinking, grape juice makes the
Yeah.
most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm just, okay.
Shut the fuck up!
I was like, oh,
Literally
okay.
every time. I'm doing a nice thing, and you're like,
Well, it didn't look like you were doing a nice thing. You were just like, no free.
What's in there for me? What's in there for good old Ashley?
Yeah.
I was not going to address myself by those adjectives. I'm bad and young. That's the
Ye good old Aislinn.
ye old.
The old Ash.
I want to Photoshop edit of, of that.
All right.
So he's a loan shark and a mafioso boss, and really annoying about it.
But also he respects family.
And he can speak.
Yeah, and
he's silver-tongued double.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, yeah.
All right, back to Ben. It was around this time Crassus's rival with Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus.
Oh, fuck off. That's not his real name. That's not that you just made that name up.
Yeah, no, he gave it. He gave.
That's amazing.
He made that name up.
This is like a time traveler who accidentally went back to Roman times but didn't do any research. Yeah. So he's just like, what is the name of the person who just saved everyone in the village? Pompeius Maximus.
The cool guy.
Yeah. The great.
The great. That's
all right.
Me.
Yeah.
So Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, aka Pompey the Great,
Pompey
started as Sulla favored Pompey over Crassus.
Pompey passed. But
da wo ist der Pompey?
With the Pompey kick. Wait,
what song is this?
Outrun my girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
All the other kids with the pumped up kicks.
But wait, who's Pompey? What's this guy's like? What's his deal?
All right. So again, from the top. Mm-hmm. It was around this time Crassus' rivalry with Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, aka Pompey the Great, started as Sulla favored Pompey over Crassus. Our boy also grew jealous of some dude named Gaius Iulius Caesar.
Oh.
He got jealous of some guy named Julius Caesar.
Back then he
Weird
was
guy,
nobody.
never heard of him. Who is that?
I don't know. It's like,
But despite the rivalry, Crassus apparently never actually hated his colleagues, thus keeping the way open for the later alliance, in which he proved himself to be quite the political centrist. Quote. And when all Rome was divided into three powerful parties, that of Pompey, that of Caesar, and that of Crassus, it was the thoughtful and conservative part of the city which attached itself to Pompey, the violent and volatile part which supported the hopes of Caesar, while Crassus took a middle ground and drew from both. He made very many changes in his political views and was neither a steadfast friend nor an implacable enemy, but readily abandoned both his favors and his resentments at the dictates of his interests, so that frequently, within a short space of time, the same man and the same measures found in him both an advocate and an opponent. And he had great influence both from the favors which he bestowed and the fear which he inspired, but more from the fear.
So there's basically, he said, these are my principles. If you don't like them, I have other ones. Unfortunately, that's not my joke. I don't know who did it. I think one of the Marx brothers.
So somebody who's dead. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yoink, that's mine now.
Oh, you can take from the Marx brothers. No.
This is what's wrong with centrists, is they're all just fucking bottom feeder opportunists.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, whatever pleases you.
Yeah.
Whatever will...
What would you like?
Whatever will get you to suck my dick. Usually I don't even ask, so you're fucking lucky right now.
You should call yourself like the luckiest man right now, because I'm not
burning your house down. I'm not fucking your wife.
I'm not opposing you.
I'm not killing you and then fucking your wife and having
your
several
virgin
children.
Wife.
Yes, your virgin wife.
Only to get her house. This is oh my god, that would be... sorry, The Office was good, but this as a home improvement show.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Crassus is doing like the brothers.
Yeah.
You know?
I've not seen Home Improvement. So.
But you know, like those home improvement shows where they're like, move that bus.
Oh yes, like Extreme Home Makeover.
But it's all burning.
Yeah. And the show is just called You're Moving Out.
It's the show where we go to your house and we get permission afterwards, after we tell you it's
Move
pretty
those people. Move those people.
That's the people. That's the motto for ICE.
And he is the only one who chants, like, move those people.
That's so funny.
You're moving out.
Oh my god, if that wasn't such a horrifying concept for a TV show, I would want it made immediately.
It's so dystopian.
Crassus in the house.
Yeah.
Your house.
I'm dying. It's
I'm
amazing.
living in your walls now.
He makes other people believe that their house is haunted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yes.
his next thing.
That's,
I thought the burning down bit was great, but this is amazing.
this will keep the house intact.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need my firefighters.
Yeah, exactly.
That means I can rape and kill them.
And I don't have to pay them afterwards.
Back to Ben. When an army of escaped gladiators under the leadership of Spartacus
That one.
went ravaging across Italy. Well, ravaging. Well, yeah, yes.
Well, yeah, he's a fucking Viking with, basically, like,
Yeah.
you know, pillage, raping, purging. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, between 73 and 71. But in this case, the Italians deserve it. They enslaved him first.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
But, okay, that's fine.
You're
then.
always allowed to kill your masters, is my
Yeah.
point here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
valid.
Went ravaging across Italia, 73 to 71 BCE. It eventually fell to Crassus to try and stop them after several failed attempts by others. It didn't go so super at first, though. Quote, Crassus himself, accordingly, took positions on the borders of Picenum, expecting to receive the attack of Spartacus, who was hastening thither, and he sent Mummius.
Oh, yes.
Mumius.
Oh.
I feel so...
Libius and Mummius.
Oh, God.
Oh, this
Wait, Mimius?
No, Mummius.
No,
Oh.
Mimius and Mumius.
Mimius was the funny one. Who took pictures and put them in another context.
He used to write little word, like symbols after them. I didn't know what they meant, but they were really funny. They never ceased to make
And he had a tattoo of funny.co.org.
There were all these symbols. We didn't know what they meant. Only the town scribe knew those.
Okay, so he sent Mummius.
Mummius was an Egyptian
Egyptian meme god.
body care product salesman. You can rub it all over your body and then your body doesn't decay.
Yeah, Mummius.
Yeah, Mummius
This
did it again.
This is snake oil. This is literally snake oil.
Freshly squeezed snake oil.
Okay, stop being horny about the snakes.
All right.
Don't stop.
And he sent Mummius, his legate, with...
His
Legate?
what?
Legate.
What is
Legate.
a legate?
It's like a guy who's in charge.
He has legs. He's legged.
You couldn't.
Yeah, no.
Legate sounds like a slur for people with two legs that can move around. Shut up, legate.
From
I think
disabled people.
Yes, exactly.
A legate should be in charge of at least a legion of soldiers, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still think it's funnier to imagine that's a slur that disabled people use for.
You legged.
Shut up, legate.
You feeter.
Shut up,
Bottom feeter.
Shut up, two legs.
Look at you, loser, having to buy sneakers.
Ooh, I can go
Bye.
to the toilet by myself.
I can wipe my own ass. I get someone else to do that for me. That's how cool I am.
All right, so he sends his legate Mummius with 2 legions by a circuitous route. Circuitous route. Oh, Jesus
Like
Christ.
a circular route?
Yeah, I guess,
They just walked in circles.
with orders to follow the enemy, but not to join battle, nor even to skirmish with them. Mummius, however, at the first promising opportunity, gave battle and was defeated. Many of his men were slain, and many of them threw away their arms and fled for their lives. Crassus gave Mummius himself a rough reception, and when he armed his soldiers anew, made them give pledges that they would keep their arms. 500 of them, moreover...
How kind of him.
Moreover, who had shown the greatest cowardice and been first to flee, he divided into 50 decades and put to death one from each decade on whom the lot fell, who thus reviving after the lapse of many years an ancient mode of punishing the soldiers. For disgrace also attaches to this manner of death, and many horrible and repulsive features attend the punishment, which the whole army witnesses. So drawing lots back then meant 10 people draw straws, basically. If you have the short straw, the other 9 guys have to beat you to death.
Okay.
Oh.
And if they don't do it, then all 10 will die.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
So if it's your best buddy, you have to kick the shit out of him until he dies.
Sheesh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how you inspire confidence into your fighting force. No, it's literally the tactic was be more cruel than the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Then your soldiers will fight the enemy because they fear you more. Yay! Romance!
This is a wholesome podcast. Fun for the whole family.
Crassus, totally a cool dude. Man, but he could speak so well.
Yeah.
When he told us that we have to beat our friends to death,
It made sense.
Yeah, exactly.
He made some compelling arguments. I was surprised. I was moved.
That guy was good.
He touched my hand consensually. He asked permission. So he asked us if we wanted to beat our friend to death, and you know what? I was convinced.
And besides,
You want to do this, right?
and besides, he wasn't such a good friend.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
In the end, does it really matter, you know?
Yeah,
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
That's where
what they
angsty
sang.
music comes from, is from drawing lots. That's how they got
that's
inspired.
what they
Yeah.
sang.
You know, Lincoln
You
Park.
tried so hard and got so far.
Yeah, no. Fun fact: Lincoln Park was actually directly inspired by the Roman Empire. I don't know if people know this.
Licinius Park.
I want like
Licinius Parkus. Okay.
I want a cover band.
Linkus Parkus.
Things went a lot more smoothly after that, but Crassus soon saw himself faced with a new dilemma, winning the war before Pompey could steal the victory from him. Quote, Crassus had written to the Senate that they must summon Lucullus from Thrace and Pompey from Spain, but he was sorry now that he had done so, and was eager to bring the war to an end before those generals came. He knew that the success would be ascribed to the one who came up with assistance, and not to himself, for Pompey's approach was already announced, and there were not a few who publicly proclaimed that the victory in this war belonged to him. He had only to come and fight and put an end to the war. Crassus, therefore, pressed on to finish the struggle himself.
Oh, you mean to tell me he wanted more war happening?
Yeah.
Fucking shocker.
What are they doing? Being competent and everything?
No,
That's very.
I'm gonna be out of a job, guys. My one and only value is contributing to
I will
chaos.
cry in ultimum my money.
It's very bad for my finances.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? Go into a cave and bang chicks there again?
We have to remember he's doing all this stuff, but he's got a fail-safe option. He can literally just fuck off to any cave anytime he wants.
He still got his whore cave.
I don't like calling
You have the bat cave, you have the whore cave, you know, like different universes.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne should have stepped his game up, honestly.
Chicks dig the bat cave. All right. Quote, but although Crassus had been fortunate, had shown most excellent generalship, and had exposed his person to danger, nevertheless, his success did not fail to enhance the reputation of Pompey. For the fugitives from the battle encountered their general and were cut to pieces, so he could write to the Senate that in open battle, indeed, Crassus had conquered the slaves, but that he himself had extirpated Extirpated.
Extirpated. XTE.
IRPATD.
Can I see this actually? I don't fucking know.
See,
I'm curious.
it's so hard to like Roman quotes are so fuck you, really.
They use all these words that we don't use anymore.
Exactly. All right. Again, from the top, Crassus had conquered the slaves, but he himself had extirpated the war. Pompey
He kept it going.
Elongated the war. There we go. Pompey, accordingly, for his victories, celebrated a splendid triumph, but Crassus, for all his self-approval, did not venture to ask for the major triumph, and it was thought ignoble and mean in him to celebrate even the minor triumph on foot, called the ovation, for a servile war. So back then, you weren't allowed to bring your army into Rome. Mm-hmm. So what you had to do to get your army into Rome was fight a major battle or something like that, win it, and then you get a triumph. Meaning they let you and your army in and they like celebrate you like for a day or two.
A parade or something.
But at the same time, you get like 5 guys standing behind you with knives that in case you want to overthrow the government right there, right then, they will stab you to death immediately.
Bro, everyone in the Roman Empire must have just been paranoid all the time. Like, it's just literally an empire of backstabbers.
Yeah.
Literally backstabbers.
And Crassus is in the middle and he's like, yeah, baby, this is my game, baby.
Big money, baby, let's go. No, they didn't trust nobody, not even themselves.
It's so insane. I didn't know that a small triumph on foot is called an ovation. That is pretty funny.
Standing ovations is where you stand up and they stab you in the back.
You get a light theater clap at the same time from the people instead of woo. They're like,
They can't cheer too loud, otherwise they get a little trigger happy. Those Roman generals.
And afterwards, they step up to you and tell you it was very entertaining.
After the show, they're like Austrians.
I enjoyed it a little bit.
I had a very good time.
Yeah.
I did not move my face at any point.
I did not laugh, but you were very entertaining.
I laughed on the inside. That's what counts. Wouldn't you say so, Pompey?
I have a battle tactic for you. You can use that next time in your little battles.
He just slides over a note, and it just says elephants.
It's the thought that counts, I guess.
I have a new invention here. It's a wheel. If you put 4 on them on a wagon, it doesn't fall over.
Back then, the wheels were just squares.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
If only there was a better way.
Everybody was infertile. Like,
the balls are just hammered to death. All right.
Those chariot races must have been a fucking nightmare with those square wheels.
Ben-Hur really would have looked different.
I would have looked so fucking ridiculous. No, like, teenage white boy would ever be interested in, like, the Roman Empire if they all had square wheels instead of round wheels.
So
I'm telling
stupid.
you. God, I'm gonna get into World War II history instead. It's always one of the two.
And the wagons weren't called wagons; they were called ball destroyers.
Well, that's what Marcus was doing to his balls every time conflict. Every time conflict arose.
All right.
Every time conflict would arise, he would too.
Back to Ben. Afterwards, the two assisted.
Yeah. I'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
You heard it here first.
Afterwards, the two assisted each other in becoming the next consuls of Rome, only to wildly disagree on basically everything once in office.
What? No.
So they didn't end up accomplishing anything in 70 BC, aside from Crassus feeding all of Rome for 3 whole months out of his own pocket.
Oh, how nice of him.
Mm-hmm. After that, he took all of the houses.
Oh, yeah. Obviously. That's the least you could do.
They can't afford rent right now.
Well, you get to live 3 months rent-free in the houses that I stole from you.
In your not house.
Yeah.
In the not your house.
In the house that is not yours.
This house is not my home.
You mean to tell me that this man who thrives off of chaos can't work well with others? Wow.
Crazy, right?
I know.
The only other thing Plutarch finds worthy of mention is that they did publicly reconcile just before the end of their term. Crassus' censorship in 65 BC similarly, quote, passed without any results or achievements whatsoever. He neither made a revision of the Senate, nor a scrutiny of the knights, nor a census of the people, although he had Lutatius Catulus.
Tatty cat.
Tatty catty.
Tatty cat.
Tatty catty. Catulus. Catulus is so stupid.
Yeah.
Titty
That's
calculus.
like somebody called Philinus. Like, come on.
It's like somebody who does circumcisions.
Or is emo. Catulus.
Someone who listens to My Chemical Romance.
What do you say, Catulus? I don't care, whatever.
My alchemy romance in this case.
Alchemy romance. Wait. Which is Pompey 9/11 for them then? Because that's how My Chemical Romance started.
Right? Yeah. Basically,
Gerard Way
that's
witnessed 9/11, and now history is different.
Oh, shit.
Now we have Umbrella Academy, thanks to 9/11. Thank you, 9/11.
All right. So, although he had Lutatius Catulus, the gentlest of the Romans, for his colleague, but they say that when Crassus embarked upon the dangerous and violent policy of making Egypt tributary to Rome, Catulus opposed him vigorously, whereupon, being at variance, both voluntarily laid down their office. I can't work with you. No, I can't work with you. No, I'm gonna quit. No, I'm gonna quit.
I'm going to HR.
Yeah.
HR is just 4 slaves in a corner somewhere. They're just there for therapy at this point.
No, HR is 2 knives, and whoever gets to leave is winning at the HR fight.
No, but one of the slaves has to ref, so they have 2 knives, and then they have one person to decide who the winner was before they stab them to death.
All right. His political career took a turn for the better with Caesar's help a couple years later. Quote, now when Caesar came back from his province, Spain, in 60 BC, and prepared to seek the consulship, he saw that Pompey and Crassus were once more at odds with each other. He therefore did not wish to make one of them an enemy by asking the aid of the other, nor did he have any hope of success if neither of them helped him. He pursued them, reconciled them, and won them both to his support, and constituted with that triumvirate an irresistible power, with which he overthrew the Senate and the people, not by making his partners greater, the one through the other, but by making himself greatest of all through them.
Make Rome great again.
Yeah, I mean, it is Caesar.
He is literally, Caesar is literally Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an exaggeration.
He never bragged. I think he never bragged about being rich, Caesar, and not being rich.
Sure.
At the same time. So,
was he actually rich?
Caesar was pretty well off, yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
But he was not Crassus rich.
Sure. Sure, but also, I mean, just because there's no record of it, he seems like the kind of guy. He seems like the kind of guy.
He wasn't house burning rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't Blackwater rich.
Yeah. Also, Caesar was constantly campaigning. That cost a lot of money too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, back to Ben. Caesar became consul and afterwards proconsul of Gaul, the parts of which not yet under Roman rule he conquered at the time, leading to a very successful comic book series millennia later.
Is this the Asterix
Yeah,
or whatever?
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is an Austrian reference I'm too American to
French.
understand. Oh, French, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Asterix and Obelix is made
There's
by
no difference.
Goscinny and Uderzo, and
Yeah.
it's one of the best things out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still pretty funny.
Yeah,
I'll
to
take
this
your-
day. Yeah.
I'll take
All
your
right.
word for it.
The first triumvirate had another meeting in Lucca, Gallia Cisalpina. Why not bi-alpina?
Why not trans-alpina?
Oh, there we go.
There's too much cis representation in the Roman Empire, and frankly, I've had enough.
Yeah, cut those mountaintops off.
Yeah. There's not nearly
Turn
enough.
them into flat-chested.
There's not nearly enough dick slicing. I mean, there's all kinds of other slicing.
Alpine is just a construct.
All right. In 56 BC, where they decided to seize power over the empire, together by Pompey and Crassus becoming consuls again the next year. A goal they achieved through somewhat questionable methods. What a surprise.
Oh.
What?
Questionable. No, that doesn't sound like him.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't have done that.
He couldn't have done that.
No.
Wasn't me. No. Crassus is the whole time. Wasn't me. The burning building. the wars. It's like, wasn't me.
It's the Roman Empire, so I thought for a second you were doing like an on the cross thing.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't me. Hanging on the cross. Wasn't me.
As everything else burns.
Killing Jesus. Wasn't me.
That might be the one crime he hasn't committed yet.
Yes, we might find out.
We might find out he was
actually the guy who signs the order is him.
Yeah.
All right. Quote, when, however, Pompey and Crassus openly announced their candidature, the rest took fright and withdrew from the contest. But Cato encouraged Domitius, who was a kinsman and friend of his, to proceed, urging and inciting him to cling to his hopes, assured that he would do battle for the common freedom. Alarmed at this, the partisans of Crassus and Pompey abstained from no disorder or violence, however extreme, and kept the climax by waylaying Domitius as he was coming down into the forum before daybreak with his followers, killing his torchbearer and wounding many, among whom was Cato. After routing their opponents and shutting them up at home, they had themselves proclaimed consuls, and a short time afterwards they once more surrounded the rostra with armed men, cast Cato out of the forum, slew several who made resistance, and then had another 5 years added to the proconsulship of Caesar in Gaul, and the provinces of Syria and both Spains voted to themselves. When the lot was cast, Syria fell to Crassus and the Spains to Pompey.
Oh.
Okay.
Just regular politicking.
Yeah.
You just stab your opponents until they are not able anymore to be your opponents.
Yeah, that's just how they did that back then.
Yeah, well, they did that in the First Republic in Austria.
True.
Every party had their own army.
Yeah, that is true.
That's literally all politics used to be at one point.
Yeah,
it's just
who can stab faster and harder.
Stab faster and the most people at one time.
Competitive stabbing.
Yeah. Competitive murder.
Oh, is this where taking a stab comes from? Like,
probably. That's where the phrase backstabber probably comes from. Something like that.
Oh, that's Crassus right there. Yeah.
Or I mean Caesar, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Either of those assholes.
Yeah, either of the.
All right, back to Ben.
But that wait, real quick. That's sort of. I think that means that he's like the Roger Moore of. He's the Roger Moore of fucking the Roman Empire. Do you know?
What did Roger Moore do?
He was the guy. It was a fuck. You know who I'm talking about, though, right? He was in the
James
Nixon.
Bond.
Yeah.
No,
Roger Moore.
No, the Nixon cabinet.
Oh, that Moore. That is too.
Is there another? Is it? Am I getting his name?
Oh, you mean Roger Ailes? Maybe?
No, I'm pretty sure. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but
because Roger Moore is literally James Bond.
There is a guy who worked for Nixon. I thought his name was Roger Moore.
Yeah.
But it's. Did I say Roger Moore or did I say Richard Moore?
You said Roger Moore.
Okay, that was right. I think that he was like responsible for he did basically what Stalin did back in the day, where he would
just purge people.
No, not purge people. He would just spread as much misinformation as possible and just cause chaos. Like, and he's had a active political career to this day. Like, he's been on Alex Jones. Like, he's been on all this shit.
That sounds like Roger Ailes to me.
Maybe I'm wrong about the name. That's
because
possible.
Roger Moore again is James
I'm
Bond.
Probably wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. Though.
Yes.
But he's literally this guy. Basically.
Oh yeah.
All right, just cut out the part where I sound like an idiot.
No, I'm just subtitling with the real name.
Yeah. Or just cut out the whole part entirely.
Back to Ben. Crassus was quite happy with this and grew rather megalomaniac, boasting he would conquer not only the Parthian Empire, but also Bactria in India.
Grew? When hasn't he been that?
He was like biglomaniac, but now he's megalomaniac.
No,
you know, like
this is like when people say that Breaking Bad is like the transformation of like a normal guy to like a drug kingpin. No, he was always a bad person. This
just
is
a
that.
bigger shit.
Yeah, one of them was just more confident in themselves than the other.
I love that he's like, Parthian Empire, sure.
Yeah.
Bactria, sure. India, taking that as well.
We know literally, we only know what he did. We know zero about his personality. We know that he was a smooth talker, but we don't know like what he was like on a daily basis. He could have been a smooth talker. He could have been like, throwing shit at the walls. Literal shit at the walls.
Yeah. He probably did.
He's probably erratic as hell.
Yeah.
All right, I have to take this a little bit from the top. Boasting he would conquer not only the Parthian Empire, but also Bactria and India. He said, and failed, and also died. First, he lost a good part of his forces because he wouldn't wait to set sail until the winter storms had stopped. On the way, he got mocked by the Gazillion king for trying to conquer Persia at over 60 years of age. Then he let himself be celebrated as imperator after capturing one Mesopotamian city, Xenodotia, naturally not failing to plunder its property and sell the citizens into slavery, and then decided to sit back and wait in spite of the fact that he could have easily won the support of the great cities of Babylon and Seleucia, those giving the Parthians time to prepare, not to mention he also lost his soldiers' respect by being corrupt and greedy.
Well, now.
Yeah, now.
Literally.
Wait. Are we fighting for a bad guy?
Are we the baddies?
Yeah. No. We have a literal skull.
On our forehead. I'm
We
literally
raped and killed a whole village,
I'm
guys.
holding the head of someone I just murdered.
He's still face fucking a corpse.
Yeah.
You know? Are we the baddies?
But this is like exactly what Hitler did too, though, where he's like he refused to not invade Russia in the winter or whatever.
Oh yeah. Everybody told him to fuck off, and he's like, no.
Wir are the master race.
Yeah, exactly. We will get this shit done.
It's a little less fun to do that in like a what we can only guess is a Latin accent. Though it's literally the same.
I'm gonna burn down this city, yeah?
But even that silver-tongued devil, even that was charming just now. I'll let you commit
what are you gonna do, huh? You're gonna rape, you're gonna kill, huh? You gotta break some eggs to make a nice piece of pie, huh?
That's like almost convincing enough to let you get away with war crimes.
I think that's green up there.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just the battery of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but thanks.
You're welcome.
Somebody who's actually paying attention. Crazy.
Fuck you.
What? I didn't pay attention.
Ooh, wait, you're here? All right. And when Artabazus...
You can't read words, Paul.
That is true.
What a loser.
Oh, what a loser. Speaking a second language. What a fucking loser.
In this case, like 4 or 5 dead languages.
Yeah, true.
And when Artabazus, king of Armenia, came to him with the sound plan of attacking Parthia by the way of his kingdom, which would first greatly increase Crassus' strength, second allow the Romans to advance through allied territory, and third give them a tactical advantage as the Parthians relied heavily on their cavalry, and Armenia was a mountainous country, our dude insisted on advancing through Mesopotamia instead. And what a splendid advance it was. Quote, now, as Crassus was taking his army across the Euphrates at Zeugma, a town in Syria, many extraordinary peals of thunder crashed about them, and many flashes of lightning also darted in their faces, and a wind, half mist and half hurricane, fell upon their raft, breaking it up and shattering it in many places. The place where he was intending to encamp was also smitten by 2 thunderbolts, and one of the general's horses, richly caparisoned, violently dragged its groom along with it into the river, and disappearing beneath the waves. It is said also that the first eagle which was raised aloft faced about of its own accord. Besides all this, it happened that when their rations were distributed to the soldiers after crossing of the river, lentils and salt came first, which are held by the Romans to be tokens of mourning, and are set out as offerings to the dead. Moreover, Crassus himself, while haranguing his men, let fall a phrase which terribly confounded them. He said, namely, that he should destroy the bridge over the river, that not one of them might return. And although he ought, as soon as he perceived the strangeness of his expression, to have recalled it and made his meaning clearer to his timorous hearers.
I mean,
he was too obstinate to do so. And finally, he was making the customary sacrifice of purification for the army, and the seer placed the viscera in his hands. He let them fall to the ground. Then, seeing that the bystanders were beyond measure distressed at the occurrence, he smiled and said, "Such is old age, but no weapon, you may be sure, shall fall from its hands."
Aren't the Romans the ones that were like, you need bread and circuses to like keep people from rebelling?
Yep.
And you literally made them give their food to the dead, the only food that they had, to dead people. And talk about literally burning the bridges.
Who else but Crassus?
Crassus the crisis
Why
man.
do you do this to us? What can I say? I'm an asshole.
What can I say? You should have a theme song.
Yeah.
Na da da da, it's Crassus.
If you had a reality show, it'd be called Crisis Management.
Who's gonna burn down your house? It's gonna be Crassus. Who's gonna rape your wife? It's gonna be Crassus. Who's gonna fuck over his friends and also try to be the consul? It's Crassus. Crassus.
I think Crassus might be the reason why Latin is a dead language. Like he just bought it and then he raped it and killed it.
He set it on fire. He burned every book in Latin, and now there's nothing there.
He put
Would be a
his
shame
dick
if
in it
something
first.
would be a shame if something happened to all this knowledge.
He is single-handedly responsible for the Library of Alexandria.
Burning down, that's him.
He first fucked it.
No, they wouldn't. Who owned the Library of Alexandria?
Some hot chick.
Yeah,
No, really, the lady who was in charge when it got burned down was...
She was like a high priestess, probably.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
really knowledgeable, and she really tried
Yeah.
to save the books.
Yeah.
And
Look,
then
that
she
could've been him.
got murdered, and all her books that she tried to rescue got also burned.
You're not.
Whoop.
You're not. Wait, are you fucking with me right now? Or
No,
that's actually what happened. Literally, he's responsible. This is what. No, this is my conspiracy.
He fucked the librarian and
To get at the books?
to get the library.
You have a really awesome building here. I could put so many apartment complexes in this.
He's an absolute slumlord. He decides to use the Library of
I'm gonna
Alexandria.
gentrify this library.
He realizes, this is just a library and there's no room for like housing or anything. Fuck it. I'll
But
just
to
set it on
clarify,
fire.
again, he didn't burn down the Library of Alexandria.
That we know.
Yeah.
That we can prove.
I think
Crassus is here. This is a fuck place now.
But that is my headcanon now. I'm pretty sure that
Fuck
my
your
boy
knowledge.
Marky Mark single-handedly destroyed the Library of Alexandria.
All right, back to Ben. Crassus then decided to trust the Arab chieftain Ariamnes, who was, of course, actually working for the Parthians, and successfully led the Romans away from the Euphrates they had been marching along and into an actual desert. Then, with Crassus' leave, Ariamnes left to feed the Parthians false information. Not sus at all. Thanks, Ben. At this time, Crassus also received message from the Armenian king Artabazus, saying truthfully that he was hard-pressed by the Parthians and couldn't come to his aid, and advising Crassus to come to Armenia to join forces, or else at least stay near the mountains to not be overwhelmed by the Parthian cavalry. While he didn't actually reply, Crassus apparently cursed Artabazus and said he would take revenge for his treachery in due time. Soon enough, Crassus' scouts came back telling of a huge army advancing on them. The Parthian king Herodes...
No, that's not his fucking name.
Gotta take the Herodes.
Literally, that's not his name. I refuse to believe that's a real name.
Herodes. had split his. The Parthian king Herodes had split his forces to attack the Armenian
He took
king.
the high road.
Yeah.
That's what he split. That was the...
Yeah. Quote, all were greatly disturbed, of course, but Crassus was altogether frightened out of his senses and began to draw up his forces in haste and with no great consistency. At first, as Crassus, who so far had been consistently good, consistently ignored advice, recommended... Oh, Cassius. Sorry, there's another guy super similarly spelled. Goddamn you fucking Romans.
Yeah.
Where's Vibius when you need him?
Yeah, what happened to Vibius?
Yeah.
What happened to Dr. Vibes?
Yeah.
The pimp.
Legend has it he's still vibing in the cave.
Probably. Fucking all of Rome is on fire, but he's just straight
He's
chilling.
just like, whoop,
He's
whoop.
smoking a doob. Like,
He has like
fucking-
sunglasses on that haven't been invented for another 2,000 years.
He's got one of those big ass coats and like
Yeah.
a diamond cane, like a GTA character.
Custom GTA
He's a
character.
custom GTA character.
I wonder what happened to Rome.
I wonder what they're doing right now.
Nah, I've no
Come
time.
to
I have to slap them hoes.
I wonder what happened to Rome.
Yeah, this whole thing was actually a flashback by, or an imagined situation by
that would
Dr.
be funny.
Vibes.
That would be
LSD
fun.
trip.
Yeah, exactly. He's just licked a toad and he's just tripping in that fucking cave. All right. At first, as Cassius, who so far had been given consistently good, consistently ignored advice, recommended, he extended the line of his men-at-arms as far as possible along the plain, with little depth, to prevent the enemy from surrounding them, and divided all his cavalry between the two wings. Then he changed his mind and concentrated his men, forming them in a hollow square of 4 fronts, with 12 cohorts on each side. Spoiler alert, they were surrounded. Ben, the full tale of this clusterfuck of a battle that followed would be too much for this podcast. Short version, the Romans were pretty much defenseless against the Parthians. Crassus' son Publius was among the many... Pubes, man. Crassus' son Publius was among the many dead, and the Parthians graciously
Useless pubes.
graciously giving Crassus a night to mourn was probably the only reason anyone got out alive, as they used the night to begin their retreat. They had to leave around 4,000 wounded behind, who were slain by the Parthians the next day. The retreat was, by the way, not organized by Crassus himself, as he was too depressed to get up and do something about the situation. I don't want to be a warlord anymore.
He's listening to Alchemy Romance.
I hate this place. Slam the door. Cranks up the music.
Why do you clean your room, Mom?
Yeah, you always invite the Parthians to come over and raid.
Oh, you don't understand me.
Nobody understands me.
I'm gonna go listen to Linkus Parkus in my bedroom. In the end, it's like it doesn't even matter.
Tried so hard, I got so far.
But in the end,
All right.
speaking of the end, we're getting closer.
Yeah, we're getting closer. They made their escape to Carrhae, where they got bamboozled again by the Parthians. Quote, a false report now reached Surena, the commander of the Parthian army, that Crassus, along with the men of highest rank, had made his escape, and that the fugitives who had streamed into Carrhae were a mixed rabble unworthy of his notice. Supposing, therefore, that he had lost the fruits of his victory, but being still in doubt and wishing to learn the truth, in order that he might either wait there and lay siege to Crassus in the city, or else at Carrhae alone and pursue him, he sent one of his attendants, who could speak both languages, up to the walls, with orders to call out in the Roman tongue for Crassus himself or Cassius, saying that Surena wished to have a conference with them. The interpreter gave this message, and when it was reported to Crassus, he accepted the invitation. A little while afterwards, there came from the barbarians some Arabs, who knew Crassus and Cassius well by sight, having been in their camp before the battle. When these men saw Crassus on the wall, they said that Surenas proposed a truce and offered them safe conduct if they would be friends of the king and leave Mesopotamia, for this he saw was more advantageous to both parties than any resort to extreme measures. Cassius accepted the proposal and asked that time and place be fixed for a conference between Surena and Crassus. The man said that this should be done and rode away. Not suspicious at all, right? I just want to have a meeting, guys. Can we have a talk, you know?
Come on, let's...
Crass and Cass are gonna fuck some shit up.
Now you want to talk. I just want to talk. Prepare the torches.
Now Surena was delighted that the men were where he could besiege them. And when the day came, he led his Parthians up against the city. Then, rather than give up Crassus and Cassius as demanded, the Romans decided to sneak away in the night without any of the locals of Carrhae knowing. Fuck you guys!
Pussy ass bitches.
You deal with this situation. We're gonna be over here.
Howdy, bye.
I pooped on this plane.
I also lit it on fire for you, just in case you get cold. Because I'm such a nice and generous guy. Also, where's my fucking money?
We left pubes.
We left Pubes' dead body.
And we set it on fire.
For warmth.
We gave him our lentils. Our
And salt.
I thought we had a lentil agreement. All right. Okay, another insane name. But Andromachus.
Andromachus.
Yeah.
That's a YouTuber.
Oder Andromachus.
Yeah.
Andromachus.
Andromachus, the most faithless of men, learned of it, for Crassus not only confided the secret to him, but made him the guide for the journey. Accordingly, everything was known to the Parthians, for Andromachus reported to them all the details. But since it is not the custom, and so not easy, for the Parthians to fight by night, and since Crassus set out by night, Andromachus, by leading the fugitives now by one route and now by another, contrived that the pursuers should not be left far behind. And finally he diverted the march into deep marshes and regions full of ditches, thus making it difficult and circuitous for those who still followed him. For there were some who conjectured that the twisting and turning of Andromachus boded no good, and therefore did not follow him. Cassius indeed went back again to Carrhae, and rode off into Syria with 500 horsemen. And others too, employing trusty guides, reached a hill country called Sinaca, and established themselves in safety before day came. These were about 5,000 men, and they were led by Octavius, a brave man.
Aw.
They keep introducing characters to this
Who
narrative.
are smarter, better at their job, but Crassus is in the middle of it, and he's like, YOLO!
He's been getting away with everything so far just by being the most violent motherfucker. But now that there are people who are smarter than him, but just as opportunistic, just as out for themselves,
Oh,
he's
they
like,
immediately abandon him. They're like, bye!
He's a pussy ass bitch.
Yeah. Surena, back to Ben. Surena naturally caught up with them again, and since Octavius managed to save Crassus from immediate defeat, and Surena knew the Romans would evade them come nightfall, he pulled another one of his famous pranks by basically offering Crassus the exact same terms for peace again. This time it was Crassus who had the wits to not really buy it. But his men weren't so hot about having his back at this point and more or less forced him to accept.
Literally. How would you trust this motherfucker?
It being clearly a trap, Octavius tried to stop him, leading to both him and Crassus being killed by the Parthians in the ensuing kerfuffle in the summer of 53 BC.
It ended that quickly?
Bro, this is a trap. Clearly they are riding with spears towards us.
Shut the fuck up.
I told you so.
It ended so quickly. So quickly and so painfully.
Good.
Yeah, but it's just like you'd think for a guy who was trying so hard.
The remaining Romans
Didn't even matter.
the remaining Romans were killed or captured. Quote, in the whole campaign, 20,000 are said to have been killed and 10,000 to have been taken alive. Damn. Not the biggest loss for a Roman army, but that's still pretty bad. If you just waste 20,000. That's insane. According to Plutarch, the Parthians weren't done with Crassus yet. However, quote, Surena sent word by messengers to Seleucia that he was bringing Crassus there alive and prepared a laughable sort of procession, which he insultingly called a triumph. That one of his captives who bore the greatest likeness to Crassus, Gaius Iulius, put on a woman's royal robe and under instructions to answer to the name of Crassus and the title of Imperator when so addressed, was conducted along on horseback. Before him rode trumpeters and a few lictors, a lictor being a Roman civil servant who served as an attendant and bodyguard to the magistrate who held imperium. Borne on camels, from the faces of the lictors' purses were suspended, and to their axes were fastened Roman heads newly cut off. Badass. Behind these followed courtesans of Seleucia, musicians who sang many scurrilous and ridiculous songs about the effeminacy and cowardice of Crassus, and these things were for all to see.
I love that.
Also, according to Plutarch, Crassus's head was used as a prop in a theater play at a banquet attended by King Herodes of Parthia and Artavasdes of Armenia, as the two had actually made peace. They're like, oh, there's a real shithead out of that is like unifying the less shitheads, you know, like there's always an alpha shithead.
There's always a worse guy.
And in this case it's Marcus's Licinius Crassus.
Brings us all together. Fun for the whole family.
So what did you guys think about Marcus?
I'm gonna let our guest go first.
But that was all in the period of 10 years? 10?
No.
Wait.
Like 15 at least, right?
So he...
I felt like I lived all 15 of those years. All 15 years of violence.
I feel better about myself now.
Yeah. I'm glad we live in this empire and not the other one. Not that other one.
So he must have been like, in his 60s. So... he did this all these things in 40 years or something like that.
Okay, well, that's a life well
That's less
lived.
impressive.
Well lived.
That's less impressive. Oh, he couldn't have done it in 15 years.
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
But I have to admit, like, there's some shit in here that, like, straight up is, like, modern politicking. Like, the backstabbing.
It just goes...
the making your money from, like, the most... fucked up method possible so you can just buy everybody's favor afterwards.
This is
fuck up the countryside because the city is more important, you know? Like all of those things are very much modern politicking things. And
except for giving the lentils to the dead. That is
such a dick move.
Yeah,
they were all starving to death.
Yeah.
You're just like, what? You mean to tell me that we're gonna die
I
by
could
the
have had a
hands?
nice stew.
You know, we elected a general, or I mean, he took power anyway, but we were loyal to him because he was loyal to us.
Mm-hmm.
Now
He's not even loyal to us anymore. What the fuck? And I mean, maybe we shouldn't have put our trust in a guy who's famously as shifty as the most used car salesman ass Roman fucking high court member or whatever.
But this is a body of Julius Caesar, and how much Julius Caesar is still being revered to this day by a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, okay, so is Julius Caesar actually revered, or is he just like a guy that we remember because he was, you know, was the ruler of the empire?
Oh, there's certain parts in the world where it's very, very much revered.
I guess it's the same way that like the royal family is revered.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Even though they are awful people.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for Diana.
Not part of the royals.
Like, that's true.
She got ex-royaled.
Yeah. she got car crashed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
She rolled her car, you know,
Oh my God.
multiple times.
No, but it's it is like you said, sort of they're cutting out the middleman and just going straight for the violence. This is like a reminder of like, oh yeah, governments like exist for a reason, so that we and
real governments that you can't overthrow easily.
Yeah, I mean,
because the way they did it was like, are we gonna do this, buddies? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Stab, stab, stab,
Literally.
stab, stab. Winner!
Everyone's got to do it, otherwise we're all guilty.
I vote by knife, you know, like.
And it's so funny to me too, because they what system of government did they have before it was the empire officially?
Republic.
Okay, it was a republic.
Yeah. And most Romans could vote.
Yeah, and then they went.
Sorry, most Roman males could vote.
Right. Okay.
But you didn't need to own property. So. But you didn't need to own property or people. It's not like Britain, where for a long time they had a democracy, but really only land-owning men could vote.
Yeah.
That also, and you also had to pay when you were voting.
Oh shit!
That was an extra thing too.
So only like people who could afford to vote.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like that they had that, and then they went back to basically a monarchy. which if you like, we have to remember that like for centuries, the only job of a reigning monarch, was staying alive
and like, banging as much as possible,
and banging and getting as much out of that out of that alliance that you just formed as possible.
With your brother, sister.
With your brother, sister, you're trying to survive your brother, sister, cousin murdering you for the title of the throne or whatever.
Not getting a super fucked up chin.
Literally.
I'm a good monarch. Yes, you are.
I'm a bonarch.
No, my balls dropped again. No.
Again.
They're
running like marbles over the floor.
My balls fell off again.
I thought it was like this guy was worth an episode, and I was not wrong. I was not wrong.
This is hilarious.
He was...
the firefighting thing is so funny to me.
Yes. He's literally a used car salesman mob boss who worked his way all the way, and then he
worked his way.
He stabbed his way up.
Oh, and scammed.
Yeah.
Stabbed and scammed.
He put a lot of effort into that scamming. Excuse you.
Yeah, you get real sweaty when you stab that much.
Exactly. To commit that much violence, that much extrajudicial violence.
I love how he...
And he just gets bamboozled.
How much he loved property.
Huh?
Oh,
how much he loved property.
That is funny, I'm banging for... Every time I pump, I feel another square meter popping in. You know?
I desperately want that extreme home makeover show.
3 strokes per square meter. Every room I fucked you in is now mine.
He invented the pick up and move around move while you're still inside her.
Yeah.
So he's like, dibs on this.
Remember, ladies, this position has dark origins.
Dark water origins.
Dark droplet origins.
This house is mine now because there's my semen on the floor. It's not your semen, it's mine.
I'm seeing men.
Hallelujah, I'm seeing.
Oh no, they're burning down my house.
Yeah. Quick,
burning down.
Let me just get it now.
It's Tom Jones. Yeah. Tom Jones is next to it, burning down the house.
Wait, no, that's Talking Heads.
But there's a really good Tom Jones cover of it.
It's not unusual to be bought by an...
Promiscuous Jonusus with his greatest hits.
Thomas Jonas.
That's still better than like half the names we heard. Pubes.
Vibius is the...
Yeah, Vibius is
There was not nearly enough Vibius in this story.
Yeah, Vibius needs a spin-off.
Yeah, Vibius needs his own TV show.
It's like Joey.
Or Better Call Saul.
Hopefully it's Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not
Joey had a spin-off.
For 2 seasons or something like that.
No, I think Vibius deserves better than Joey.
Deserves better.
He deserved better. I mean, he was a pimp who owned people.
Is that the subtitle of the show?
I think I watched one episode of Joey 16 years ago or something, and I still can't remember how bad it was.
Yeah, the ORF had it on.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
Crazy that.
But I also didn't like Friends, so.
Oh, that's easy then.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty.
David, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for being
Now
here.
it's time for plugs. This will come out in this year.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you have anything planned for around New Year's already? You got any shows coming up?
Yeah, just go to my homepage, davidstockenreitner.at, because we're in Austria.
Nice.
And also all my social media channels. I think I'm on every platform except Snapchat.
Yes. And you have a fantastic TikTok as well for the youngsters.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
For the Zoomers.
For the disabled Zoomers.
Well, no, for the regular Zoomers can
enjoy the content too.
Yeah.
I know. But let's be honest, if you have, an arm missing or something like that, you can...
Yeah, you feel...
If
we can be friends. You will.
If Crisis Man has made a visit to your house recently, you might be entitled to financial compensation.
You can, like all the disabled people watch my TikToks and then, that's exactly how it is. That's relatable as fuck.
It's like, ha, I do that.
Yeah.
Like the Vine.
Or ha, I can't do that.
I can't do that either.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, all of his links are gonna be in the description below, guys.
Check it
Thank you
out.
very much.
Yes.
Yes. You have anything to plug?
This is my show. All this stuff is going to be in the description. Our stuff is going to be in the description.
I know. But do you have any special events planned for the end of the year?
Check out my TikTok. I'm gonna post strange things, and maybe you'll relate to them or not.
Cool.
I don't have anything coming up that's like gonna age well,
Like those horse that Marcus Licinius had. Boom, brought it back, baby.
Those middle-aged whores at age 14. Jesus.
Oh yeah, those are some loose pussies already.
Low-hanging fruit.
Stop. Stop.
It's like two melons grating against the wall.
Okay, stop watching this podcast. This is not.
This has been a pleasure to host the Eurocentrist episode.
They can plow the fields with their tits.
Oh, there we go. Boom, boom, boom.
End it on that one. End it on that one. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye. Let me burn down your house.